Tianqi also frowned and said, "Fredman, Mr. Wade is the only person in this world who can save you. If you still disrespect Mr. Wade, I hope you will not regret it in the future." As soon as Fredman heard this, he immediately snorted in his heart. The 8 achievements of his illness were caused by Charlie, who made the tactics at the renovation summit, but he has not found any direct evidence. What's more, Charlie has humiliated him more than once. Let him call his father and grandpa. It can be said that the person he hates most in this world is Charlie. However, when he heard that Charlie was the only one who could save him, Fredman immediately squeezed all the hatred in his heart, quickly changed his face, and said to Charlie with a flattering expression, "I was wrong. Mr. Wade, you don't take it to your heart, please help me and save my life." Charlie smiled faintly, looked at him and asked, "Fredman, have you forgotten what I should be called?" Fredman gritted his teeth and thought to himself that if a man can bend and stretch, he will fight for roots. So, he immediately knelt on the ground and said to Charlie, "Grandpa, what happened before was all my fault. Please don't remember the villain's fault, please help me." As he said, he still twitched his mouth for fear that Charlie would be angry and would not give him treatment. The rest were dumbfounded. This is Fredman, the chairman of Future Company Group, actually called a young grandfather? What is the identity of this young man who can make the chairman of a large group bow his head so much? Charlie nodded in satisfaction at this time and said, "Not bad. You are getting more and more skilled in your business." Yongjung and Tianqi all admired Charlie so much. But Fredman even called Charlie grandfather, almost falling off his startled eyes. He hurriedly stepped forward and complimented, "After hearing the name of Mr. Wade for a long time, I can't think of seeing your true face today. It is really a master indeed. I strongly believe you can deal with Chairman Wilson's illness, please help him." Barena on the side couldn't help but feel angry when he saw Charlie, so he gritted his teeth and said, "Dad, this grandson is not a master at all. I've asked about it a long time ago. He is just a feng shui godstick. Don't believe him. It must be Liang, a wild species, who colluded with him to lie to you." Yongjung shook his heart. Seeing Charlie frowned, he immediately slapped Barena with his hand. What he didn't expect was that when Fredman, who was kneeling on the ground, heard this, he jumped up and slapped Barena too. The two of them, one left and the other on right, gave Barena a bow from left to right. Barena didn't expect that he was only proving Charlie's identity, and he was beaten by both his father and Fredman at the same time. Fredman beat him, he could still bear it. After all, he knew in his heart that it was the medicine that Fredman took by fooling him, and it was normal for Fredman to hate him. However, Barena couldn't believe that his father, who had barely touched himself in decades, slapped him twice in this moment of effort. He covered his face, looked at Yongjung angrily, and blurted out, "Dad, why did you hit me again? Did I make a mistake? Be it starred stuff, shut up." Yongjung glared at him fiercely, and cursed in his heart, why this prodigal son didn't have any eyesight. Now even Tianqi is Charlie's licking dog. So now Charlie is the only savior of the Wei family. Even if he is really a magic stick, it can never be said in front of him, let alone offend him. After scolding Barena, Yongjung said, "Now, Mr. Wade, this dog is unleashed. You must not take it to heart." Fredman also panicked. He hated Barena to death. He kicked Barena and said coldly, "Barena, don't talk too much here. If you annoy Mr. Wade and Grandpa Wade, I'll FC King chop you." Barena sighed, he had already rolled 3 meters and finished driving. After Fredman kicked, he hurriedly laughed at Charlie and said, "Grandpa Wade, don't be angry at this kind of garbage, he is not worthy at all, please hurry up and treat me." Barena was completely stunned. Charlie was just a rubbish live-in son-in-law. He fooled a bunch of big people with feng shui tricks. He was telling the truth. How come he was beaten in the end? Charlie looked at them coldly and said, "If it weren't for Liang to beg me, I wouldn't be here at all, so you people, you must know in your heart that if the Wei family resolves the crisis today, the credit entirely goes to Liang." When Yongjung heard this, he hurriedly praised Liang. "You did a good job this time, I will remember it." Liang's heart was excited and intolerable. It seems that as long as Charlie cures Fredman's fester, he will become the chairman of Wei's Pharmaceuticals. However, he didn't know that Yangjung already had his nitric acid U-disc in his heart. In Yangjung's view, Liang was born as a wild species from a village girl in Changbai Mountain who was played with by himself. Because his mother was born humble, Yangjung was also 100 people inferior to Liang. He originally said that he and his eldest son Barena, whoever can solve the family crisis, can be the chairman. In fact, the main purpose is to stimulate Barena and make him actively think of ways. He really didn't expect Liang to have such a big breakthrough, that he could invite Tianqi and Charlie over. If he really did what he said, then when Charlie took the initiative to cure Fredman, he would have to make Liang the chairman. But how is it possible? He is a garbage that shouldn't exist at all.